I swear. There we go. All right, y'all know I gotta check the stream. New hair, who this? Let's see. Uh-uh. Wait, what? Meta? Uh, uh. Y'all know we on Diddy Watch. Y'all know we on Diddy Watch. Happy Friday. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Do I sound distorted, y'all? Let me know in the chat if I do. It sounds a little distorted in my ears, but that doesn't mean that I'm actually distorted. Just let me know in the chat. And I'm about to check to make sure the stream is up. Yo. Oh, that's right. Why it's not updating. Right there. Hey, y'all. Hey. Happy Friday. Do Ryan Cameron still do the Friday song? I miss the Friday song. I still do it with my 4-year-old. She wasn't even around when I used to do it at the station. It's Friday. It's Friday. It's the end of the week and the last day. Yo, Tangy, it's on you. So what y'all gonna do? Shout out to Ryan Cameron, by the way, who is now the official entire voice of Hartsfield Atlanta Airport. Congratulations, Ryan. Nobody else deserves it more. He's also the voice of the Falcons and the Hawks. That's right. So basically, when his drop says he is the voice of Atlanta, he is. All right, y'all. So thank y'all for bearing with me the last couple of days because, of course, I got this sinus, whatever going on. But, we ain't going to let that stop nothing because one monkey don't stop no show. And I'm running late today. I know. Usually on Friday, though, if it's not any breaking news or we're not on trial watch, I usually just post some reclips, right? But today, y'all know we on trial watch because Diddy is at his bond hearing live right now. So let's go. All right, let's go ahead and jump to that because they've concluded with the bond hearing, y'all. And so here is what the gist of what's going on, okay? So I'm gonna be honest with you. I still keep my same position. I feel like Diddy's gonna get bond this time. I told y'all that. I told y'all. Did we bet? I told y'all Diddy was gonna get bond. And technically he did not get bond today, but he did not get bond today. It makes sense. So look. So let's go to Law and Crime Network because I'm sure that they are probably going to have just some lawyers and everything talking about what it really means. Because here's the thing, guys. So the judge literally wants to sleep on it.
An instruction that he is a violent individual,
Here we go, y'all.
that he's
Let's
a
tune in and
danger
hear
to
it out.
society. The judge heard both arguments and said he will make a decision early next week. The question becomes, will Sean Combs be home for Thanksgiving? That could be a realistic possibility here. And he also said that he wants letters from both sides on Monday about what Sean Combs is allowed to communicate and what he is not allowed to communicate with. Because the big issue was, is he allowed to present social media posts about his family, his life? There was a back and forth about whether or not he can, talk about, reverse the narrative for himself, or whether or not that is trying to improperly influence a potential jury pool. So you heard a lot of back and forth. Big theme was whether or not he should be allowed out, considering Mike Jeffries, the former CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch, who was also charged with sex trafficking and arrested recently, he was let out on a $10 million bail package. Sean Combs was proposing a $50 million bail package, private 24/7 security. At least 3 security guard members would be watching him. No internet use, no phone use, limited to his conversations with his attorneys, only a limited amount of visitors. So the judge is taking all of this under advisement, which seems to be a wise decision. And by all accounts, we'll have a decision about Sean Combs' bail next week. Now, I want to bring in Elizabeth Milner from Law and Crime, our very own. She was in that courtroom for the hearing.
Okay.
She's
She was in the
outside of
courtroom.
that
Let's
federal
see what she said
courthouse
real
right
quick.
now. Elizabeth, good to see you. What did you see? What were your observations inside there?
And they were actually just writing it in the press. So let's see.
Yeah, Jesse, a lot of interest in today's hearing for sure, especially with the whole debate on whether or not Sean Diddy Combs could actually go home or at least be at home in time for Thanksgiving. I will say that I arrived to the courthouse around like 12:15 today. Not a lot of people out. So I thought we actually came here a lot early. So when I went inside the courthouse, I was actually surprised to see the amount of reporters that were already in line waiting to go inside that hearing.
And
now,
even though reporters were allowed to go in, guys, they couldn't take
about 45 minutes before the hearing started, and probably at least 15 other journalists and lawyers were ahead of me in the line. So I was actually very lucky to get a seat today. Now they actually moved the courtroom to a different location than it was on Tuesday's hearing. Again, that was an emergency hearing, but for this scheduled hearing that's been on the calendar for about a few weeks now, they had it actually at the top floor, so a lot more people were able to get inside that courtroom. And let me tell you, a lot of people were inside that courtroom in that hearing, even members of the public as well too. I feel like I saw some teenagers kind of wanting to know as well too what was going on inside that hearing, because I think they also probably wanted to get a glimpse of Diddy as well too. But let me just kind of paint a picture to our viewers about what you kind of see when you walk inside that federal courtroom. So of course when you first walk in, you're going to see the gallery. You're going to have a left-hand side or right-hand side. Left-hand side, excuse me, is for some of the defense attorneys as well as members of Combs' family, other public interests. And on the other side, it's going to be some extra attorneys from the government side, as well as all of the reporters. And we were really kind of body to body inside that courtroom. Then when you kind of go outside of the gallery, then you have the defense table, then you have the prosecution's table, and then you have the judge obviously on the bench. So it's a little different from how when we normally cover trials, you have the defense on one side, you have the prosecution on another side. So a lot of us in the reporter side, we were kind of anxious to see if Diddy's kids were going to be at the hearing today. And they did. They arrived. They were in unison. They all came in holding hands together too. And Sean Combs' mother, Janice, was also in that courtroom too. But another person who I found particularly interesting to be inside that courtroom was LaWanda Lane. Now, she is the best friend of Kim Porter. And as we have been reporting on, she has been taking care of Sean Combs' twin daughters, Delilah and Jessie, while Combs has been locked up inside that federal detention center. But whenever they came in, it was kind of different from when all of the family had to come in during that October hearing and that it went silent. That wasn't necessarily the case. A lot of people were kind of whispering and talking a little bit back and forth and inside the gallery. Then they all came in. Again, they were all holding hands. They all sat down beside each other. And then, of course, court proceeded and everything like that. I was expecting some moments of like maybe some tearing up, because remember, and I'm sure you've already told our viewers this, when they were kind of discussing the freak off, the assault video that was released by CNN earlier this year, as well as just some of Diddy's conduct, or alleged conduct, I should say. I can imagine just being 17 years old. I'm specifically talking about Jessie and Delilah Combs, because they are still underage here.
They're gonna be so strong,
it can be hard to listen to your father's alleged conduct and just hearing just kind of the inner details of what all is going on. Obviously, it's been making the news everywhere. It's not really a secret. But at the same time, to be inside a courtroom for 2 hours and kind of listening to your father's conduct, I can imagine to be hard. But from my side and from what I saw, I didn't see much of an emotional reaction or anything like that, as far as it coming from Diddy's children. And so they pretty much kind of stayed forward, kind of kept their eyes on what the judge was saying, what the defense was saying, obviously what the government was saying when they were making their arguments. So I didn't see any type of actual emotion whenever they were making their arguments. But again, I can only imagine what may have been going on in their head as well too. But it's also significant that they were in the courtroom, because as I mentioned on Tuesday, they weren't here on Tuesday, and it was probably likely because it was an emergency hearing. I'm sure flying all the way out from Los Angeles or possibly Miami can be a lot to do in the matter of just getting 24 or 12-hour notice. And so, it wasn't very surprising that they were all inside the courtroom. But again, it's significant too, because the government alleges that they are all doing doing this as kind of like a PR stunt and kind of in a way to sway the jury into making them seem like a unified family. I mean, we've seen this before in trials, and I want to kind of make a clear distinction on the comparison I'm about to make here. I mean, we've seen this before in trials, and I'm talking specifically about the Alec Murdaugh trial, where, you know, Alec Murdaugh's family came inside that courtroom as well too. So it wasn't very surprising.
Yeah, but it's not the same, honey. Not
back him up. But I will say, just like on Tuesday, whenever Diddy did come into the courtroom and how he beamed and how he looked at every single person in the gallery, it wasn't like that this time. So when he came inside, it was still in that khaki jumpsuit. He again looks kind of grayish, a little bit like that, a little thin, but at the same time, you know, being in jail or a federal detention center for the past 2 months, obviously that's going to kind of wear and tear on anybody, including somebody like Sean Diddy Combs. But as soon as he came inside that courtroom today, he beamed up immediately, looking straight at his family, and that was pretty much the only people he kept eye contact with outside of his attorneys. So he looked immediately at his family. He blew kisses to them all, kind of like a little like "I love you" mouthing of the words type of thing. And even before the judge got on the bench, he turned to them once again too, to kind of just mouth a little, like, you know, like it felt like he was just happy to see them, I should say. And then of course when he sat before he sat at the defense table, he hugged every single one of his attorneys. But again, like I said Tuesday, you know, Diddy knows that a lot of eyes are on him at this time. So there's not going to be a moment where we don't see what we expect to see of Sean Diddy Combs, if that makes sense. We're going to see somebody who's not going to appear defeated. We're going to see somebody who is going to appear with smiles. So that way, I think he's also kind of signaling to the world that he's okay in a way, but at the same time, maybe reassuring his family, especially his daughters, who again, the twins, Jesse and Delia, are just 17. Chance just turned 18, but with the exception of his youngest daughter, who is 2-year-old baby Love, who is probably with her mom over in California, I would assume, but I just don't want to speculate there. But of course, when when there wasn't a decision made, everyone was kind of ushered and rushed out of the courtroom. So I didn't get that last glance of maybe a last blown kiss to his family or to his mother or anything like that. But at the same time, you know,
but his mama wig was on point.
That's pretty much what we can expect from Sean Combs.
On point. Okay.
Let me ask you this, Elizabeth, and that was a great recap of what you're our eyes and ears. We don't have cameras in that courtroom. Unfortunately, we're not going to have cameras in that courtroom. So you are our best eyes and ears about what is happening there. I broke down the legal arguments and what was said between the prosecution and the defense and Judge Subramanian. From Judge Subramanian, though, his demeanor, the way he was asking these questions to the prosecution, did it seem to you like he was skeptical of the prosecution's arguments? Did it seem like he was pushing them a little bit more? The reason we're asking is, does he seem open to Sean Combs getting bail? I know he's reserved judgment, but there's one thing to report on what he was said. There's another thing, you got a glimpse of the way he was asking the questions. What's your take on that?
I think it kind of stems back to, you know, with this case, you really have to dot your I's and cross your T's. I think he was asking both sides very important questions. When he was specifically talking to the government, I think he was trying to also make it clear, you know, it did feel like he was open to it. To answer your question, it did feel that way. I was actually kind of surprised by that aspect as well, too, because, you know, going in, and I shouldn't have made that assumption in the first place. I was like, no way could this ever happen. But at the end of these arguments, I'm like, maybe it's possible that this could actually happen. I think it was kind of interesting that moment where, you know, Mark Agnifilo mentioned his home in Miami, and Judge Subramanian was like, oh, okay, absolutely not.
Yeah, now that was dumb. That was
apartment on the Upper East Side. But as far as the government's kind of arguments that they were making, it seemed like the judge really just kind of wanted to press to make sure that they were crossing all their T's and dotting all of their I's. And I kind of have to give him credit a little bit here, because I think sometimes in the court cases that we do cover, we see that a judge can side with one particular side as opposed to the other. But I feel like for both sides, he was kind of playing it fair on both ends, kind of making sure that he was telling, or excuse me, that both sides were explaining everything that he needed to know before he makes his final decision next week.
And we will see what that decision will be. Elizabeth Milner, thank you so much for going in there.
So, listen, mother told you. I told y'all. I told y'all. Didn't I tell you? I said, okay, now I was wrong last time, okay? That's water under the bridge. That's neither here nor there. But this time I said Diddy is going to get bond. Y'all, Diddy is going to get bond, okay? Like, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I know, like, we all hate the Cassie video. I get it, but again, we have to want to ensure that our justice system is justicing, because it's usually not justicing. If I'm making sense, you get what I'm saying. And so, for them to be able to bring up people that quote unquote are on Diddy's caliber, like the Abercrombie and Fitch CEO, or whatever, and everything, their cases, right? And say, like, all these people got bond. Weinstein got bond. All these people got bond. Why can't Diddy get bond? Right? So I feel like this judge, you know what this judge reminds me of? This judge, I don't know why, and it's so different, but it's so giving me YSL vibes. And I told y'all that last week. I said, when the prosecution in Diddy case fumbled the bag, what I mean is when they did that quote unquote planned unauthorized search, child, when they did that and seized that man writings and things of that nature, it's not like they went in there looking for a cell phone. It's not like they went in there looking for a shank or some contraband. Like, they went in there and took that man personal writings, man. Like, god dang, I'm gonna fight my case if I can't even write in peace without y'all taking it and trying to use it against me. Like, that is like, and then on top of that, like, let's not act like Diddy is just a regular person. Like, he's not just a regular person that could just sit in jail and really prepare to fight, to have a fair fight, right? Because all of this stuff is still alleged, y'all, no matter how you feel about it. And in the situation that he's in, I mean, there is just, honestly, I just don't see it being a way that he could have a fair fight if he was stuck in there until trial. I really don't. I feel like today, well, not just today, but I feel like the other day when the prosecution first fumbled the bag, I feel like they doing exactly what they did in the YSL trial. The prosecution is overselling, under delivering. And it's not just this case. It's not just the YSL case, y'all. If you pay attention, like, homegirl homicide right here. I mean, I be trying to solve the crimes on Law and Crime Network and stuff. But listen, seriously, like, if you look at a lot of cases where they're trying to bring RICOs, and especially if they're any way remotely close to a celebrity or linked to a celebrity, right? Then y'all, the prosecution has been doing a lot of over promising, under delivering, and over promising to the public works in their favor in the beginning. Okay, because in the beginning it's shock value. In the beginning, it's shock value. It makes the DA look efficient. It makes the DA look like they're doing a job and they're doing a good thing, and et cetera, right? And they do it so well that we forget that the person ain't even been found guilty yet. We do. And it ain't just you, it's me too. We all do that. You know what I'm saying? We pick the part of the case or the evidence that we see, and we make our own decisions. And that's why it's called the court of public opinion. We ain't the only ones that do that, y'all. It's just a thing. So with that being said, and as messy as those civil lawyers have been, because again, this stuff is alleged, and whether Diddy did it or not, it's like a tongue twister. Whether Diddy did it, Diddy do it, Diddy did it. Whether Diddy did it or not, y'all, they have been very messy in the way that they have let all of this information leak out to the public in order to sway the public. And so it's so funny and hypocritical of them. And today they said it in court. The prosecutor said, Diddy's trying to orchestrate a campaign, like with his kids and everything. Like, you remember the birthday shout out, right? The birthday shout out, he had his kids do on Instagram. Y'all, what's funny is the prosecution probably brought more attention to themselves and other aspects of the case that's doing exactly what they're accusing Diddy of doing. Now, they can't prove that Diddy is doing that, but it is proven that the prosecution is doing something they're not supposed to do, as well as the the civil lawyers that are letting so much information out to the public that it is tainting a potential jury pool. Y'all, it's a mess. I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all. And if we have not learned anything from this YSL trial, y'all, we have got to learn that if you think that it's just about if this person, in this case, Diddy, is innocent or guilty, and that this whole situation is just for the victims, then you're blind. We here in Radio-Muva world, we always err on the side of victims. We don't play. We protect victims. We love victims. Radio-Muva world is a safe space always. However, we are just and we are fair. And with that being said, you got to keep your head on a swivel, man. You got to keep your head on a swivel, baby, because you already know it's closer than you think, always. And you got to remember, these DAs, like, remember I told you when I went to vote for Kamala Harris? Remember when I told you I went to vote, right? And I told you, like, y'all, I didn't know DA Fonnie Willis was going to be on the ticket, right? So that right there alone, like, and it just led me into kind of looking into it. And so people in her position, like, they run in their county. So, like, they have to be voted in. So, y'all, listen, not only are they building their careers, but a part of the public interest, right? And a part of them serving the public is them over delivering information to the public and making themselves look like the hero. So, unfortunately, for the people, i.e., me and you, what gets lost in all of it is the actual crimes, child. The actual crimes. The crimes get lost in all of it because it becomes a circus show. And everybody's trying to find everybody's flaws. And then you got the witnesses not cooperating. Or then you got a little Woody to turn the whole thing into a comedy show. And then you can't take the whole case serious. Y'all, keep your head on a swivel. And we are going to keep our eye on Diddy Watch because next week, I'm telling you, and this is so crazy. So the lawyers on both sides, defense and the district attorney, they have to turn in their write-up, I guess their briefs or whatever their final write-up is. I guess this would be called closing arguments. I don't know. Not really closing arguments because technically this is just a hearing, not a trial. But the judge wants their final, I guess, letter turned into him by Monday. He didn't say if he's going to make a decision on Monday, but he did say he's going to make a decision next week. Y'all, that's not a no. That is not a no. And I'm going to be honest with you, even without hearing the audio and just seeing and hearing the text that came from that hearing, it sounds like this judge is fair. And it sounds like I don't see why we got to hold him. Outside of Diddy's lawyers trying to, like, and we had already talked about this earlier this week too on the Lunchtime Lowdown, y'all. We was like, yeah, he just going to have to stay in New York. And then as soon as the judge was like, okay, so what's the address that he gonna be staying? Here come the lawyer, and you know which lawyer I'm talking about, right? Remember the lawyer that was doing all in the interviews, all in the videos, all in the documentaries. I forgot his name. It sounds like a spider, something, arachnophobia, something like that. But look, here the first thing he busts out his mouth. Yeah, he's going to be staying in his home on Star Island. Okay, so you just finished telling the judge that this man is not about to fit to run. He's not going to get on a jet. He's not going to walk. He's not going to ride a bike. He's not going to take a car. But you going to put him right by a boat and right next to Cuba? When in the news this week, a man faked his whole death on the water to leave his wife and kids and go be with some chick he met online. Come on, y'all. Keep your head on the swivel. Diddy lawyer was dumb for that. That was dumb. And thank God he was able to clean it up real quick. Because the judge was like, that ain't gonna work. But really, I have to think, like, the judge probably sucked his teeth. Like, really? So it's one thing that you want to get out. Okay, cool. You say the Upper East Side. I know the Upper East Side is the upper echelon. Okay, cool. But you're telling me Star Island, that's not gonna work. If we have to have an emergency hearing, anything, then I have to worry about him getting on a flight. It's just too much, too risky. So he's going to have to stay here. And where's the security going to stay? 24-hour security. Where are they going to stay? Okay. And they said downstairs. Okay. And do you want to bet the security company, Your Honor? These are the security companies, blah, 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 blah. Diddy is going to get bail. Let's bet. Come on, let's bet. What we betting? $100. All right. So I got to figure out, I've been playing around in these settings with figuring out the poll thing, and I'm going to figure it out so that we can do the Diddy bond fund. Y'all gonna help get Diddy out of jail? I hear somebody right now talking about, hell no. I ain't even getting my cousin Ray Ray out of jail. Why I'm gonna get Diddy out of jail? I get it. But anyway, we're gonna stay on Diddy watch because as y'all know, things are ever breaking. And then we still got our eye on what's going on with Lil Durk. And then of course we didn't get to talk about it yesterday, y'all. But YNW Melly. If you don't know who that is, he is a rapper he's been in jail now, I think, since 2019, accused of killing his two best friends and blaming it on a drive-by. That case has really intrigued me since I heard about it years ago, because it's really hard to fathom somebody killing their two best friends like that, sitting right next to them in a car. And honestly, putting the case together, and as much time passed, I'm going to tell you something. A lot of time passing can help the defense because they get more opportunity to pick apart the prosecution's case. And as they've been picking it apart, it just hasn't been making sense. So ironically, the judge, when they tried to get YNW Melly bond again, because they kept denying his bond too, the judge asked the prosecution this week, like, okay, so why can't we give him bond again? So YNW Melly is another one who could possibly be getting bond. Okay. And listen, I agree that I would prefer home arrest with restrictions and when somebody's not proven guilty yet. Y'all, just to think, and you know what else is right in front of our face? The money issue. The societal money issue, because guess what? Now, they can't get bond because they got too much money. And because they got too much money, they might flee. But your cousin Ray Ray ain't got no money. So cousin Ray Ray get a bond, but cousin Ray Ray ain't got no money. So because cousin Ray Ray got a high bond, he's stuck in jail for something he didn't even do. Can't get out. Nobody to sign his bond, and he don't got the cash to do it because of his societal circumstances. So do you see what's happening here? Either way, to think that it's not Freakonomics, and if you don't know what Freakonomics is, look it up. Okay? It's like economics, but you put freak in front of it, not to be confused with freak-offs. Not the same. Freakonomics. It is all about Freakonomics. I'm telling y'all, it definitely boils down to societal status and wealth, and not so much so like you can buy your way out of something, not something this public and something this federal. Okay, but so much as you see the difference. Yeah, you got too much money, so you might be a flight risk. Yeah, you ain't got no money, so let's give you a bond because you can't get bond. So you just gonna sit in here and work for 2 cents an hour. Yeah, prison reform, man. I ain't heard Donald Trump and his Ivy League team that he putting together say nothing yet about prison reform. Have y'all? If I'm wrong, tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat where you have heard Donald Trump or any of his Ivy League team that he's putting together. Have they said anything about prison reform? All I see is a bunch of random people, and I did say random, being picked for these positions. Like, I mean, Donald Trump is like that dude that got picked on in high school and was like, man, one day I'm going to make it. And when I make it big, man, I'm going to ish on everybody. That's Trump. That's what we watching. So, y'all, we just got to pray, man. And I'm just going to continue. And I know we kind of took a left turn, but taking that turn was coming from the prison reform side of it. We have really got to start putting more of our investment into our local governments, our local county councilmen, our local mayors, our local police departments. Like, we got to get more involved in our own communities, y'all, because that's the only way we're going to really see change. We can't wait another 4 years for another president to run, hoping it's somebody that look like us or somebody that you think is going to represent you. No, you don't got to do that. Like, your voice is important. And if you really trying to do it for the kids, for the future, then you got to get involved now. And even me, I'm talking about me too. Me too. It's important to do your part, whatever that looks like, by becoming more informed, getting more involved in your local community government. Okay. All right. Now, hey, y'all. Hey, how y'all Friday going? Y'all, how about this weather, though? Let me tell you something. Baby, y'all know, if anybody out there, if any of y'all got sinuses or allergies, because usually mine is just as bad, like when the pollen puts out. But with this weather and Mother Nature and her bipolar self, y'all, because it's cold one day, warm the next, medium the next day, raining the next, y'all, baby, my sinuses is all over the place. I feel better today than yesterday. So thank y'all for bearing with me. It is Eastern time for me. What's going on, Steph? Shout out to my whole Twitch crew checking in. It's 4:41 Eastern time. What time zone are you in? So y'all, listen, hit me in the chat if I missed the story. By the way, surprise! I got a surprise for you. It's not from me, but it's from Kendrick Lamar, y'all. Kendrick Lamar dropped a new album, y'all. Kendrick Lamar, new album. Baby, Kendrick ain't playing with y'all hoes, okay? Kendrick is not playing with y'all hoes. Now, I know I can't play a lot of this because I don't want to get copyright strike, but I do want to play a little bit of the one that they said he featured some of Tupac in, and I think this is it, Reincarnated. Have y'all heard it yet? Let's check out a little bit. Under the Fair. Okay, now. Yeah, y'all. That's why you listen, man. You got to join my Discord, man. Radio-Muva on Discord. That way we can listen to these type of things uninterrupted and not get copyright strikes. I like it. I kind of perused through it in the car on my way back just now, and it sounded Kendricky. I like Kendrick, but like, I don't know. I can't explain it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, I like Kendrick, but like, I I don't want to say I don't like Kendrick. I like Kendrick. I like Kendrick's songs, but I can't say that like, oh my God, Kendrick dropped a new album. No, he's one of them artists where I like songs, not necessarily albums, if that makes sense. Like from Jay-Z, I like albums. Okay. From let me see. What's somebody good? What's somebody else I can use? Come on, y'all, help me out. A rapper. Oh, it's evening in Germany too. Okay. 23 evening. Okay. Let me see. What's another rapper? Oh my God, I have a whole brain freeze. Oh, okay. I'ma just say, Nicki Minaj. All right, Barbs, don't come for me. I love Nicki. I love all the girls. Okay. I love all the girls, all the female rappers is doing their thing. But I like Nicki Minaj. I proud of her, love her songs, but I don't just listen to Nicki albums. Like, I don't just, you know what I'm saying? And maybe it's me, but I don't really connect with her whole albums like that. But I like her songs, especially her radio singles. And I mean, that's how I feel about Kendrick. Like, I can let a Tupac album play all the way through, a Dr. Dre album, Snoop, first album. And NWA first album. Something like that. Like I can let it play all the way through, but like with Kendrick, I like Kendrick songs. I hope that makes sense. But anyway, big shout out to K Dot, man. Y'all, we got to check it out over the weekend. And I want to know what y'all favorite song is. I can tell you so far, just by hearing even that little bit, that's going to be my favorite song. And that is very likely because I am a huge Tupac fan. And I can hear the sample. And I also hear him, trying to flow like Tupac in this. All right, so let's just check the headlines real quick. So, of course, all Diddy's kids was at court today. I'm glad because I didn't like the fact that the prosecution was trying to use his kids against him in the sense of letting them tell him happy birthday on social media. I mean, what would you want them to like hide their support for their dad? It's their dad. Listen, my dad is hell. Okay, hell on wheels. Even before the dementia, hell on wheels. But guess what? It's my daddy. Anybody else feel like that about their daddy? Like, ain't nothing your daddy can do. It's your daddy. It's my daddy. You know what I'm saying? Oh, 11 p.m. Oh, okay, so 23 in the evening. Also, like 23 right before 24. Okay, Stephanie, you just taught me something. I like it. Okay, cool. I get it. I get it. But yeah, so like I was saying, I'm glad all his kids came because I didn't like the way the prosecutor tried to use Diddy's kids against him and say like, he's trying to use his kids to sway the public and had him tell him happy birthday and stuff. What would you have liked for them to do? Huh? I bet if the kids got on social media and said, we do not stand with our dad or anything that he's done and blah, 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 blah. I bet y'all wouldn't say nothing then. Listen, man, it is all a big circus and it's a game. And I just think that it's something to be learned out of all of these situations for all of us, y'all, because none of us in the courtroom, but because we learn so much about these cases through our certain interests, it does help us become more well-informed about the law. And I think that's important because I think just like if they taught us credit in high school, and things like that and budgeting and things like that in high school, I think we have a better chance at 18 when we start our adult life. But that's neither here nor there. All right, y'all. So let's just make sure that we didn't miss anything. I got a lot of stuff to upload this weekend, man. Stuff that I've been having on the editing block all week. Y'all look at the drawing. I wonder how much you get paid to do that. You get to sit in there and just draw. I wonder how much you get. How do you get that job? Hey, yo, you know any artists that can come draw the courtroom? All right, so I was right, y'all. This is his fourth time. They was reporting it wrong. Somebody was his third time. Had me thinking I was wrong. It is his fourth time. Excuse me, y'all. Like I said, if you're just tuning in, Diddy did not get bail, but Diddy did not get bail. You dig? Well, we have to wait till next week. All right, let's see. All right, here they go. See, this is what I mean. Look at his kids. Yeah, we got to check Janice Combs' wig because mother love a good wig. TMZ be having so many ads. It take forever to. Oh, come on. Sure, but see what I'm saying? We can just go to Google and find it, TMZ. Don't judge me, okay? I know. Okay. I care about all the other important stuff too. But I also care about Mama Janice wig today. I want to see her wig today. Diddy family court bond hearing today. Do not judge. Okay, let's see, y'all. Okay, wig. Okay, wig. Baby. Baby. Wig and the shades. Yes, Janice. Her wig is giving. Her wig is giving. I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, at least they look, more pleasant today. Well, not pleasant, but last time they really seemed sad, and I'm sure it's a lot on them, y'all. But Diddy getting out next week, y'all, and it's crazy because he's gonna be out just in time for Thanksgiving. So what's gonna be interesting is the type of gag order that's gonna be on him. That's gonna be interesting. All right. All right, y'all. I know we about to wrap the stream up real quick, but still. Diddy and Limbo judge delays final on. Okay. I just want to make sure that we ain't missed no headlines. Boom, boom, boom. Shabuzi reacts to awards. Okay, Oh yeah, y'all. So remember earlier this week we talked about Jonathan Majors and Megan Good being engaged, and we found out why they were doing an interview on the red carpet together. Ironically, just days after it was rumors that they broke up. I still don't trust him, y'all. We got questions. Jonathan Majors. I can't explain what my sixth sense is, okay? But when I feel something about people, I'll never be wrong. Anywho, but we love Megan, so as long as she happy, and you bet not hurt her, period. Anyway, y'all, so today, you remember Jonathan Major's ex, the lady who, he got in trouble for, that he supposedly like assaulted or whatever? Well, not supposedly, because I think he got found guilty of like a lesser charge or something. So y'all, she dropped her lawsuit. She dropped her lawsuit. Now, I think that was a class act. I think that was classy. And I think she did it because the man has gotten engaged. The man has lost a lot. The man has moved on. And I feel like because she found out, just like we did, that him and Megan Good got engaged, and she decided to drop the lawsuit. So big up to her. We still don't trust you either, girl. But that was a class act to you. All right, y'all. If you have not yet, you already know what I'm gonna say. Make sure you subscribe. Yeah, okay. I don't know what just happened. I don't know what just happened. Somebody must have heard us talking about him. And my printer going off. All right, y'all, but seriously. Radio-Muva on YouTube, y'all. Check out the videos. Subscribe. Check out the videos. If you like what you see, you want to get down with the click, down with the crew, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube, okay? And then, of course, on every other outlet. We're on Rumble, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, everything Radio-Muva, all right? And support the channel. Support the channel because it can't grow without your support. All right, y'all. I will see y'all later on today and, throughout the weekend, popping up different videos that I got to edit up for y'all. All right. All right, y'all. Have a good weekend. Mwah.